to this. Hold up.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm joined with my sister Bailey because we're going to be tier ranking the 2023 movie releases. I haven't done a movie focused video since like 2017, maybe 2016, and to say my taste has changed since then is an understatement. We are both film lovers. We love watching movies, and I am in school for film, so film student alert. So we have selected 15 movies. Obviously these aren't all the ones that are coming out this year, but these are kind of like a good variety. Made my own list because there wasn't one already. So the rankings for these are top ranking, which is normally the S tier, is we'll be there for early release. So we'll be there the day before it comes out, in line an hour or so before the movie starts.
The next one is AMC resident for the next week.
So basically gonna be there every day watching this movie over and over again because that's how obsessed we are with it. The third one, which is kind of the middle, or it is the middle, is added this to my letterbox after I watched the trailer. So maybe you weren't excited for it and then you saw the trailer and you were like, this looks interesting.
Or you just had no idea it existed and you immediately like, I have to have this. I need to watch this when it comes out.
Second to last tier is might see it if there's Twitter buzz. So this is probably a movie where you had no clue it was even out, or maybe you just did not care to watch it at all. And then there's some tweets saying, you know, there's a cool scene, or like it's actually pretty good and it's underrated, then we might pop in to see it.
The last one is wouldn't watch this for free.
Which I think encompasses the last tier pretty good.
Yeah.
There's some on here that I will be putting in that tier. I did all the movie posters, and Bailey's has a purple border and mine has a blue border. That's kind of how you can tell whose is whose. Before we actually get into it, I thought it would be interesting or like useful if we kind of talked about our film preferences and like what we like to watch. That way you're not just looking at us ranking a movie really low and being like, why do you not like that? You know, like
I feel like our taste in movies is pretty similar, but there's definitely a line where it's like she can't stand it, I love it, or like I'm kind of like I didn't get that, and she's like, oh, that's my favorite thing I've ever watched. So there's definitely a couple like that.
So currently my top 4 favorite movies on Letterboxd are La La Land, which is my favorite movie of all time, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Jojo Rabbit, and American Psycho. So I would say I love anything that's like romance mixed with comedy. Not like I don't love rom-coms mainly, but like La La Land is just everything I love mixed into one, maybe besides like thriller. I've been getting a little bit more into horror within like the past 2 years, I would say. I used to not be able to watch it at all, but now sometimes I'll watch a horror movie if I know I'll be able to handle it and if it's in the right environment. It's kind of like a little bit of what I like, very briefly, but that's kind of like a little overview.
My top 4 on Letterboxd right now, I have Hereditary, which I could arguably say is probably one of my favorite movies I've ever watched. I don't know if it might be top. I have Knives Out, and I have Short Term 12, and then I have Us. I feel like that's a pretty good mix. I normally like horror and, I don't know, action, adventure kind of movies mixed with like sad. Sad's not a genre, but it is to me. With a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. So the first one we're starting with is Megan, and obviously this has already came out if you didn't know, and it's a horror movie about an AI doll that was created to like protect a little girl, and it kind of like all spirals from there, and Megan like takes it too far. That's kind of like the spoiler-free review or plot. Bailey's actually already seen this movie, and I chose to not see it because that's one of the horror elements that I don't do so well with, or like dolls. So I'm gonna put this one, well, I mean, I literally chose not to watch it, so I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna have to put it in the lower one. But if the second one was named something different, I would probably put it in the second one, but I'm just going to have to go with the bottom tier for this one.
I did see this movie. I actually saw it early release the day before. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I had really low expectations, and then about like 2 days before it came out, there was a ton of buzz about it, and then I kind of got more excited, and I'm glad I saw it. I really, really enjoyed it. I think it was kind of like the perfect mix of horror and like, not comedy, but it was just like light, but then there was just that horror mixed in that was really something I enjoy. So I'm going to put it in, we'll be there for early release, because I was.
So the next movie is Infinity Pool, and I've seen the trailer for this, but I really don't remember what it's about. So the description of it on Google says, guided by a seductive and mysterious woman, a couple on vacation venture outside the resort grounds and find themselves in a culture filled with violence, hedonism, and untold horror. A tragic accident soon leaves them facing a zero-tolerance policy for crime. Either you'll be executed, or if you're rich enough to afford it, you can watch yourself die instead.
Okay, I don't know why I had no idea what that movie was about. That sounds really good.
But Mia Goth is the star of this movie, and I've yet to see any of the X franchise yet.
And you haven't watched Emma.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Emma soon, but yeah, she's the main character in this movie, so I'm really excited about that. I think this is a movie that is gonna be on the edge of scaring me to death, but also being something I'm really interested in. So I'm gonna put this... I don't think I'm going to be an AMC resident for the next week, but I do think I added this to my watch list after I watched the trailer. Oh, I just did yours. So yeah.
I'm not sure. I think I'm going to put it in, we'll be there for early release, because I'm super excited about this, and it just seems like it's something I would really enjoy, so...
The next movie is Cocaine Bear, which I've known about this movie, I feel like, for a good while. I remember seeing a TikTok about it and someone talking about how this was a new movie that was going to come out this year. It's actually a thriller, dark comedy, so that's kind of interesting. I learned from watching the trailer that movie is set in Knoxville, so that's really interesting to me because we live in Tennessee. It's a bear who ingested cocaine from a
plane that went down and it had cocaine in it, and it was, I think it takes place in the 70s, or is it the 80s?
I think it's going to be very campy, and it's going to be I feel like it's going to have a lot of buzz about it, because it's just one of those movies where you're like, I have to talk about this.
Right.
I'm in between these two. I'll put it AMC resident for the next week, because
it's theoretical.
I'm seeing the vision for it, and if it's executed well, I'm going to be hyped for it.
I have a couple things to say about this movie in particular. One, I think it's really cool that it's directed by Elizabeth Banks. I think that'll be really interesting. And then the next thing is, I think it's cool that, you were talking about, it's set in Knoxville, but I think it's cool because it's, based on a true story. The trailer makes it seem like it's going to be kind of gory. We were surprised by the gore that they show you in the trailer alone. So I'm really excited. I think I'm going to put it in, added this to my Letterboxd after I watched the trailer, even though I've had this on my Letterboxd before I watched the trailer, just because I was really excited about it, but I don't see myself seeing it more than once.
Okay. The next movie is A Knock at the Cabin, and honestly, I've been really excited about this ever since I heard about it. Basically, it's just about this family who's vacationing at this cabin, and then a group of people come and basically tell them that they can either kill one of their family members or the apocalypse starts. I have a weird fixation on M. Night Shyamalan. I think his directing is really interesting. I know a lot of people hate on him now, and they say that he hasn't been good since blah blah blah, but I really am interested in this. I love a good thriller. This is a thriller mystery, and it's based on the book, which Bailey has read, so she's going to talk about that. I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna be there for early release because I've been waiting for this for a really long time, and I think this movie, if done the way that I'm picturing it, is gonna be one that I'm like really intrigued by.
I have feelings about this movie. I'm intrigued, I think, enough to go see it, but I'm not intrigued enough to like see it opening day or even see it early release or anything. I read the book in 2019, might have been 2018, I believe it was 2019, and the book's called The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, and I enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 3 stars, but I think if I like went back and read it now, I'd probably actually really like it. But
so like, you know how it ends. I have no idea.
And that's another thing people have been saying, because obviously M. Night, he just does the plot twist, and he does multiple plot twists sometimes, and you are just kind of like, what just happened? And so people are saying this is his first adaptation from a book that he's done, and obviously it's a book, it exists, you know how the ending is. So people are saying like, how is he gonna go about doing this? Is he gonna actually not do the real ending? Is he gonna somehow like take a different part of it and make it a plot twist? Like, people are very confused about that. So I think that'll be really interesting, and I'm hate to say it, but I'm gonna put it in. I might see it if there's Twitter buzz, because like I said, I'm intrigued, but I don't care enough. So
you're gonna hate me for the next one. So.
I am. I don't even want to know what you have to say. I don't care. Brooke is really annoying, and I get that she's new into horror, and she's like finding what she likes, and she's still just a little baby in the horror genre. She watched Scream, the 2022, so that was the 5th one. And she's never watched any Scream movie before, and then she rated that like a 2-star.
I rated it a 0.5 star.
And I rated that movie like a 4, so I thought it was really good.
But the thing is, I know how the first Scream movie ends. I know the plot twist. I literally know everything about that whole movie because it's so popular. I want to watch that movie. It's not on any streaming. I just did not enjoy the last Scream movie because the dialogue was cringe. It was not interesting to me at all. And it just fell flat. So I'm not interested in the new Scream movie, which is the next one, Scream 6. The only reason I'm not putting this in the very last one is because it is set in New York, so it's different. It's a different setting. But other than that, it's not on my watch list. So I'm going to put it on, might see if there's Twitter buzz.
I'm super excited for this. I already know. I can just tell you where I'm going to put it. I'm literally going to be there. The opening, or not opening, what is it? Early release, not before. I will be there. I was like, maybe the next one's going to be like less interesting to me, but then the trailer came out, and then like Brooke said, it's set in New York.
So the next movie I'm so excited about, it's 65, which is Adam Driver's new sci-fi thriller movie. And honestly, this movie is not getting enough hype already. Like, I know this is going to be so underrated until it comes out because no one's talking about it. I've barely seen anything about it. I literally found out about this movie through like an ad, I think, on Instagram. It's about a crash on an unknown planet, and Adam's character is the pilot, and he discovers that he's actually stranded on Earth 65 million years ago. So when there's dinosaurs, and he basically finds one other survivor who is younger, and he has to like help her survive and stuff. And it's basically like Jurassic Park, but with Adam Driver, and it's like time travel kind of related. And
this one seems like a little more scary than Jurassic Park, like tense.
I love Adam Driver. I'm obsessed. I will be there for early release.
One thing about me, I love dinosaur. There's dinosaurs, I want to watch it. And I don't know, I didn't love this when I first, because I think I saw a trailer maybe like a month ago in theaters, and I got kind of confused. I was like, what is this? And then Brooke was telling me about it, and then we watched the trailer again, and I was like, wait. So I think, honestly, I want to put it in, added this to my letterbox after I watched the trailer, because I did in the theaters. I was like, immediately, what is this? I saw Adam Driver and I was like, yes, dinosaurs. But I think, honestly, I'm going to put it in AMC Resident for the next week, because I could see myself watching that multiple times.
The next movie is The Little Mermaid live action, and honestly, I think this looks so good already. Like, the trailer, I think, looks beautiful. I know everyone, like, hates on Disney live action movies and says they're just, like, a cash grab, and there's no, like, heart in it, but I mean, I've liked some of the live action Disney movies.
Cinderella.
Yeah, Cinderella was good.
We love Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, I loved that movie, the live action version. Like, it's really good. There were good parts in Aladdin, even though a lot of people didn't
watch that one. The Lion King one made you cry. It made me cry too. What am I saying? I was crying in the first 10 minutes, but
I feel like I'm gonna say this is like middle for me. I'm not like super hype about it. I'm gonna go middle.
I've always, like we were saying, I've always been excited about this ever since it was first announced. Even just like the buzz about it of being like, oh, I think they're doing this. So I'm putting it in. We'll be there for the early release. I will be there for early release. I'm very excited about this movie. Like,
okay. So the next movie is, I'm just gonna spoil it, my number one most anticipated movie of 2023, and it has been since 2018, and that is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is the second movie in the Spider-Verse universe. Into the Spider-Verse is like one of my top movies of all time, technically like my second favorite movie right now. I'm obsessed with that movie. I could talk about it for days on end, but it's just incredible. Like, if you haven't watched that movie, like, what are you doing? This did get delayed. This was supposed to come out last year in November, and it got delayed until June 2nd. I'm delaying it even more. I am insanely excited for this movie. So this is obviously going in the we'll be there for early release.
I think I'm also going to put it in we'll be there for early release.
Okay.
I tend to go to most movies that I'm excited for early release anyway. It's just really fun to do that, because not only do most people not know that exists, but and so the theaters, like,
only people who know that is about
Marvel,
like Star Wars and Marvel movies.
Yeah, because I think they just expect that. But for most movies, our AMC does the night before, like sometimes the afternoon before, like the showing. So it's pretty easy to go see them.
The next movie was forced on here from Bailey, and that is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Is that what that's called? The description of it is, during the 1990s, the Maximals, Predacons, and Terracons joined the existing battle on Earth between Autobots and Decepticons. So there's like Transformers who are animals, technically.
Yeah, there's like a cheetah, a gorilla. What was the other one? A rhino.
So yeah. I've seen one Transformers movie, and it was Bumblebee. I'm not interested in the Transformers universe, and this movie really does nothing for me already. So this is going to go in wouldn't watch this for free.
Funny enough, I honestly have never watched a Transformers movie at all. I was checking my letterboxd. I have never watched a Transformers movie, but there was just something about watching the trailer. I don't know why stuff like that is so interesting to me. I probably will not like this movie, but I think it's, like, interesting. So I'm probably going to put it on, added this to my letterbox after the trailer, because I did, but I will see it. It'll probably just be, like, a couple weeks after it comes out.
The next movie is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which is obviously the newest addition to the Indiana Jones franchise. So there's a lot of hype about this because he's back playing the character. It doesn't even say what the plot is, it's just saying it's the 5th movie. Honestly, I looked on my letterbox the other day actually, and I have had this on my watch list for a long time, but I've only seen the first 2 Indiana Jones movies, and I'm not like obsessed. Like, I like them, yeah, but I'm not like obsessed. So I'm gonna put this on, might see if there's Twitter buzz, because
I'm just agreeing. I want to see this, but at the same time, I'm like, if everyone says it's terrible, then I probably won't care. So just depends.
So the next 2 movies both come out on the same day, And if you're a film lover, you already know what 2 movies I'm talking about. The first movie is Oppenheimer, which is Christopher Nolan's new film about like nuclear scientists who are trying to, or it's set during the Manhattan Project, and they're trying to develop the atomic bomb. And just because it's Christopher Nolan, like everyone's hype about it. Okay, I'm excited for this, but I'm not like super hyped. The topic of this movie is not something I would normally be interested in, but honestly, the only thing that is making me like really want to watch this is the fact that the explosion in the movie was not done by CGI. So that's kind of like interesting to me. And I mean, I do think Christopher Nolan is really talented. We saw the teaser trailer for this when we saw Nope. I probably didn't add it to my watch list until we saw that teaser trailer, so I'm gonna go middle ground.
I'm not as excited. I'm like somewhere kind of in the middle, lower half. And I don't know, I probably am just going to put this on. Might see if there's Twitter buzz or if Brooke tells me to see it because she likes it.
Next movie, however, is probably my second most anticipated release of this year, and it is Barbie, directed by our queen Greta Gerwig and starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, who is another one of my favorite actors, and I also love Margot.
So we saw Avatar early release, and there was probably 15 people in our theater. Like it wasn't packed, but we got the big theater. And we're just sitting there watching, and it was probably, the 4th trailer that came on. Mm-hmm. So we're like, because we love watching trailers, but we're like not prepared for what's going to play. And all of a sudden, if you know by now how the Barbie trailer is, that starts happening, and we're like, hey, what is this?
I was like, what?
What's happening? Because obviously it was not released to our knowledge that our knowledge that trailer was going to be released.
There were no rumors that was getting released. I think that it's going to be amazing. I love Greta. We love Greta. And
I told Brooke, I was like, she's going 3 for 3.
This will be...
3 for 3.
This will be an early release watch for me, definitely.
I have to agree. I'm so excited.
The next movie is the live-action Haunted Mansion. If you didn't know, they made a movie based off of the ride at Disney World called The Haunted Mansion in 2003. 2 to 3, I don't know, 4. And Bailey really loves it, and she got me to watch it about a year or 2 ago, and I really like it too. I think it's really fun.
I'm looking at the cast list, and it looks really good, and Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be Madame Leota.
That is cool. I'm going to go with middle because I didn't even know this was happening until Bailey told me.
I am gonna put it in AMC Resident for the next week. Like I was just saying, the jump scare that is Jared Leto was... I was not prepared for that. That makes me a little mad. Maybe he won't be in it a lot, or maybe something bad will happen to him. I don't know.
Second to last movie is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and this is the newest Hunger Games movie. So
the Hunger Games prequel.
I've not read this book yet, but I did actually score the book at a little free library in near perfect condition. Bailey has read this book, which it focuses on President Snow's backstory, and that's kind of
no one asked for.
Yeah, that's kind of So I love the Hunger Games. I actually told Bailey the other day I want to go back and rewatch the series. I want to revert back to my preteen, teen days and feel alive again. So I'm going to put that in that ranking.
I don't feel that way at all. I read the book. Like she said, I didn't enjoy it at all. I'm not excited.
The movie could be different though.
No. Wouldn't watch this for free.
You're not even going to watch it?
I didn't watch the second part of Mockingjay, so
Last movie is Dune Part 2, and I know this is highly anticipated on a lot of people's lists, but me, frankly, I watched Dune, and I had to try not to fall asleep during it. I also tried to read the book about 2 years ago, and that flopped. I know people say that book's just confusing to read anyway, but could not hold my attention, could not care less. And this is going to go in Wouldn't Watch for free because I simply do not care. I'm sorry.
The little string that is keeping me tied to Dune Part 2 simply is that Florence Pugh is going to be in it. No, she's probably not, honestly, not even going to be in it a lot. Probably isn't. I don't really know. I love her, and for that reason alone, I'm going to put it in I Might See It If There's Twitter buzz.
Okay.
Little honorable mention for Wonka. That is an early release. I Will Be There movie.
I think so too.
So excited. He's singing.
We forgot Wonka. So yeah, that is our list of the 2023 movie releases and how anticipated they are by both of us. Thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts about these movies, leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you've never seen my face before, subscribe down below to see when I make a new video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace. We